Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and that big money tournament is tomorrow. I would really honestly recommend most people just don't participate at all. They haven't fixed a damn thing in Standard, and this is probably the worst Standard I've ever seen since I started playing, ever. I mean, maybe Hour of Devastation heavy. Maybe. But, I don't know, this is pretty bad. I mean, Winota mixed with a Controlathon. Ugh, I'd almost go back to taking Scarab God and Red Rush, which was like the only two things you could play. Oh, there's a third deck, I don't remember what it was. But that was pretty crap, but on the other hand, this deck kicks the living crap out of everything in Tier 1. So, there's only one deck I consistently lose to. And if you think about it, then, if I gotta go, 7-2, I could probably do it. I got from Silver to Mythic in about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks with this deck. So the win rate of this is 70-80%. Easy. Now, I'm, the whole time I was in silver, and then I was in gold, then I was in platinum. It's like, was I really going up against Tier 1? The answer is yes. People play Tier 1 in unranked and bronze. So I've probably played, 500 games of this damn deck, it feels like. I mean, I've had white life gain archetype for a while now, like multiple sets, but this is the strongest form of it. So this is like your bread and butter, like I'm going to go, no brake pedal, just attack, super blitz deck, but it has a buttload of universal removal, and it's only one color, so you don't got to worry about color screwing or playing an entire turn behind your opponent because everything comes in tapped. Nope, you're just there. This is the go deck. You hit the go button and you go. That's why I'm really pissed that in playing this deck over the last, I want to say we're up to 85 matches that I bothered to track. I'm going first 38% of the time. Thanks, Wizards. Appreciate it. With my mono black deck, it got down to like 30% of the time. And I tracked over 500 games just in general with multiple decks about, 6 months ago. I went first, I want to say 41% of the time. So consistently for the last year and a half, I have not gone first a fair amount of the time. So they obviously rig it based on deck or winning something or I don't know. I don't know who cares. They rig it. It's another reason not to participate in this tournament. But if you do, I'd recommend running this deck because it's just so like basic and playable, and you don't have to like learn it really. But I will say that if you make a bad mulligan decision, this is a mulligan sensitive deck, you will lose. If you try to make something work and keep it, you will play so far behind because it's tight, it's fast, and it just goes. And if you don't keep something that does that, you're going to pay for it. And this thing, it can run on 2-3 mana the whole damn game. So mulliganing is like nothing. Starting with 6 doesn't make a damn ounce of difference. So we got Alseid of Life's Bounty. I dumped God's Will and completely put this in because this is God's Willing, but in the meantime, it's a 1/1 with lifelink. Why not? I mean, they don't see it coming. You can't blindside them, but it's not really what this deck does, so whatever. Then we got Healer's Hawk. I mean, come on, flying lifelink, just free life gain trigger. Emergency Air Blocker, too. Very good. Swallow Hole, I went down to 1 because, this deck has some trouble with, like, Ultra Blitz decks, especially when they drop Torbrand and Embercleave. Can't wait for them to get banned. But yeah, I mean, okay, it costs 1. You're trading 1 for 1, so you're probably getting rid of like a 3/1 or something early game, but whatever. I mean, there's no requirement on it, so cool. Then you get a counter, so maybe you might be able to make up for the hit you probably just took by tapping one of your creatures by lifelinking harder or something. I don't know. I don't like tapping my creatures to get rid of something because it leaves me wide open. Imagine that. But then we got Ajani's Pridemate. I mean, that card's insane. Completely speaks for itself. Dawn of Hope I went down to 1 because you just don't need that card advantage. You don't need, like, the late game, and you rarely have 2 mana for the trigger. But if it does get dragged out, you can start outdrawing your opponent's stupid Esper control deck, like 2-1, 3-1 in some cases, and sometimes you can turn the game around. So it's just there as an emergency. Also, it's really hard to target to get rid of for Devotion. Then we got Double Devotion Guy and also Devotion Guy. He does, up his toughness based on Devotion, so he's just a huge blocker. Love him. And then he's got that crazy trigger, and then on top of it's a death trigger too. Oh, I love this guy. That's why I'm running 4 of, even though he's legendary. I mean, the probability of getting 2 of these out in any given game that goes to like turn 10 is like 20-30%. Like it's not going to happen commonly. Although I've noticed with the Shuffler, it happens constantly. So They tend to favor lower cost cards early game. I guess they think they're fixing something. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the death trigger and the knot is nice because then, you can, chump with something and then your Ajani Pridemate goes up, 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 especially if Heliod's out. The whole point of this is to get Heliod out, which is why, I don't want to dilute it. It is exactly 60. If you have a card that is by itself a reason to not go above 60 because you don't want to dilute it by even one card, then don't do it. If you have a really, really good reason to go above 60 or none of your cards in your library are that important and you want to get the ratio correct more than the consistency of having a smaller deck, then go above 60. People just don't get that. I'm going to make a video on that sometime. So we got Pacifism. I mean, that's huge, especially with Mutate. Just shut it down. It's gone. You might still get some triggers and crap, but it ain't hitting you, which is fine. Then we got Banishing Light. It's gone. Three mana, it's gone. Then we got one Gideon. Very hard to play around. He pops in, gives somebody lifelink in all likelihood. 2 turns later, if you got an Exiler, yeah, you lose him, but whatever. And then he's indestructible. So you got a lot going on there, and Heliod can grant him lifelink. That is a hell of a combo right there. Plus double devotion. I mean, he is just so good. And if they're really, killing you, and all of a sudden, consistent life gain, and he's not a creature. Damn, they have to swing at him now instead of your life total. Good. That's what you want them to do. Then Heliod, I mean, 4 of duh. This guy's crazy. I mean, the fact that he can grant anything lifelink, the winning combo is now Heliod and literally anything, any creature at all, because it doesn't have to be a life gain, like self-causing life gain card. It just has to be anything. And the bigger it is, the more lifelink it has. It's just, if they would have made that ability cost 4, I wouldn't be complaining that much about Heliod, but this card is so broken, it's borderline ban worthy. I mean, just ask anybody. They even had to calm this down a little bit in other formats like Historic, at least on Arena, by banning Healer's Hawk. Heliod's the problem. But yeah, if they got rid of Heliod, the deck would be dead. They just got rid of this to water it down a couple percent. That is how they do things. I agree with that. Then we got one Lurrus. I mean, we got that one presence now with Alseid, which is hilarious. And you could, activate this ability and then resurrect it once per turn with Lurrus out, which is hilarious. And let's see. I mean, it could bring back Healer's Hawk, it can bring back a Pridemate, Daxos, but that's it. So you add these up, it's like 1/5 of the deck. So I only ran 1, but I mean, he is 3 for 3 lifelink with 2 toughness. So he by himself is pretty good to the deck, but I used to run 2 and it just wasn't happening. I mean, especially at 1 per turn, wasn't really happening. I mean, if it was a full-blown Lurrus deck with him as companion and everything was 2 or less and lifelink and all that, first of all, you'd have to run black to fill up the deck, and secondly, I kicked the crap out of that deck. It's too weak. So, I mean, playing without Heliod, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? You're going to put all your hopes and dreams on Ajani's Pridemate and hope it works. Speaking of that, no, because we've got Ajani's Strength of the Pride, a.k.a. the Pridemate generator. So I'm technically running 5 Ajani's Pridemates. 5 plus, because you can -2 them twice. And then the life gain, and then the absolute asymmetric board wipe on 0. Oh my god. The fact that it's 0 is hilarious. You could be sitting there at 1 and just, bye-bye. I've actually chump blocked to get to 35 and left him with 1 loyalty and then just nuked. I mean, this guy is so good. Plus double devotion, but you're getting kind of high. I hate to call 4 high in this deck, but it's only 22 lands. Probably should be 21. I'm just sick of the way the shuffler handles lands. Or even the hand opening priority handles them, to be honest. But yeah, this guy's crazy. He's just there to do all 3 things that the deck does. Then we got even more removal with Conclave Tribunal. A lot of the time, something is out that you can't deal with and you've got like 1 or 2 creatures in play. Well, cool, this costs 2 basically. Otherwise 4 would be too high. But you usually convoke at least some of this. And remember, you can convoke with a creature that has summoning sickness. You throw it out there and you're like, whatever. So if you throw out a Healer's Hawk for 1 and you only had 4 mana, you can now tap the Healer's Hawk to pay for this. You just got a free Healer's Hawk. I mean, I do that all the time. If not just, I've got 0 mana, and the opponent's like, what's this guy doing? Tap 4 creatures, cast this for free, and bye-bye. So, I mean, this and banishing and, like, all that stuff, that's to get rid of, Planeswalkers, enchantments, obviously, Fires of Invention, Teferi, Liliana, just everything. Doesn't tend to work against Jace, so just cast another one, but whatever. Then we got Shatter the Sky, because you can't always win. Some decks are gonna outrace you. Sometimes they're gonna run hexproof bullshit, either hexproof with Aspect of Hydra or whatever. I keep forgetting. That's not the name of the card. I love that card. It's great. It's I I don't know, form of the Hydra, whatever, Hydra's growth. No, it's not any of that. Whatever the hell it is. You guys know what it is. Or just, you know, they're running a 6 and dump, you know, companion deck, and 2 of their little dudes are, the little mana dorks are hexproof. Well, not no more. So if I see it coming and I know that I've got them on speed, like I'm starting the game with 1 of these and 3, and then they drop like a mana dork, guess what? Or if I just read what their companion is on the screen, there's that. Yeah, so this is huge. And then if there's just a board state you can't deal with, like they just dropped in Torbrand and you're barely alive, just reset button, plus Heliod will survive it, Ajani will survive it, and if you throw out a Lurrus afterwards, you can just start rebuilding. Otherwise, you know, throw out a Daxos and then just start going. Just regain. I've actually, like, immediately the next turn got out an Ajani's Pridemate and triggered it so damn many times, I've already got, like, an instant army. It's crazy. So I did up this, I had 1 as an emergency, then I went to 2 because I never drew it, then I went to 3 because it was so damn useful. So don't be afraid to just hit the reset button if you're losing. And that's the whole damn deck. I mean, Castle Ardenvale's cool, wonderful, idyllic. That's kind of neat for Healer's Hawk. Doubles its life differential from a 2 gap to a 4 gap. So you go, they're going down 2, you're going up 2. That's huge. And then just 15 planes, pretty planes. Got to have pretty planes or you won't win. And 22 total lands, just because I got to get there. You know, I can't get stuck at 1. I don't want it to prioritize. Well, it is prioritizing 2, but I don't want it to roll over to 3 necessarily. So I didn't go past 24. Out of 60, I believe that's the rollover. But, I mean, starting with 3 would be nice if you had, like, a Heliod and a removal in hand, but that'll never happen. So it's like now you're going to start with 2 so often that you need to draw into it more often because of the rigged opening hand system where you could have, it draws 2, if you're not familiar, it draws 2 opening hands and then keeps the one with the better land ratio, and it's based on just dividing the number of lands by the number of cards or something like that. I don't know if they turn that on for tournaments, for ranked tournaments. That's the thing. So this might play differently than it does in regular ranked. I'm not looking forward to that. So if your deck starts acting funny, first of all, I hope you're one of those idiots that plays like a 13 mountain red rush bullshit and then, oh, where's my hand assistant? I keep pulling 0 mana. Yeah, you deserve it. So I really hope they actually do turn it off for this tournament. That would be really nice. I think they do. But regardless, 22 isn't insane for this. I mean, you really do want to get to 3, and the best way to do that is to go above 21, I guess. So it's just a safety thing. Do I really need 1 more card and 1 more, you know, 1 more attack or 1 more source? No, it doesn't feel like it most games. Now let's move to the sideboard because day 2 is best of 3. It's a shame that day 1 isn't best of 3 because just look at this sideboard. Grafdigger's Cage with Noda, D's nuts, okay? Soul Guide Lantern, you can Zenith Flare D's nuts. Hushbringer, the shut the f*** up fairy. I love this thing. Mythos of Snapdax, oh, goodbye. Bye, Super Friends, Esper, you know, flood the board with bullshit. And then Planar Cleansing, same damn thing. I mean, the only thing I tend to lose to is the hyper control decks, the 3-color, 4-color, and 5-color control decks that are all Super Friend bullshit, and then they win with, like, Shark Twister or whatever the hell. I hate those decks. They shouldn't exist. Wizards needs to stop allowing that to be a thing. They need to calm down on the color fixing. They need to calm down on the level of draw, and they need to calm down on the level of control cards and the power of them. And they need to calm down on the number of planeswalkers, which, War of the Sparks, and good luck with that. But yeah, this is a hell of a sideboard. I could beat almost anybody with this sideboard. So yeah, a lot of these solutions are like 3 of, 4 of, whatever, but you know, it's there. I mean, I was going to do just an 8-7 option sideboard, but what am I going to pull 8 of anyway? So it's like, I'm probably going to be max pulling 4. I guess 6 if it's control. And I guess I wouldn't pull the blitz cards. I would probably pull the top end because then it's either blitz or I'm going to shut your deck down. So I nicknamed it Tournament Winner. Its actual name is Lifemare, but this is Lifemare Shrunk because the first version of Lifemare was huge, but that's back when people played Mill. So I literally just, everything that was 4 went to 3, everything that was 3 went to 2, and then I rebalanced a little tiny bit and then ended up with, 60 cards. So I think, no, that's my Brawl deck. It had a different name originally. Oh yeah, Life You to Death. So this is Life You to Death like 5.0 at this point. I mean, Mono White has been popular for almost as long as Mono Red in the game. So like, 2, 3, 4 years. But yeah, this is harsh. This deck is a nightmare and I absolutely love it. I don't think I'm going to do well at the tournament. I think I'm probably going to go like maybe 4-3, 5-3, because that's my average advantage, but this is capable of winning 70 to 80% of the time. I just think really, really like big tryhards are going to join this. and it's going to get pretty rough. So I fully expect to even go like 3-3 because they're about as good as me running about as good of decks. But I don't know. It depends. It really just comes down to how often they let me go first. If I get a fair shot at it or I get a slight advantage just based on luck, that's it. I'm going to run the whole damn tournament. So hopefully I can win $2,000, but I'm just hoping to win some of my gems back. And as I explained it on my Discord server, I normally wouldn't participate in this, but I'm going to do it just on the off chance that I make day 2. And then I'm going to never stop mentioning for the next 10 years. I'm going to shove it in everybody's faces. So that is the only reason I'm doing this tournament. If you don't have a reason that strong, don't participate. It's really expensive. So with that said, thanks for watching, everybody. Definitely check out this deck if you're looking for something that can actually win. And I will see you next video. And by the way, I'm rated 87% in Mythic with about 100 games with this deck. So, yeah.